Hi everyone, I'm Nikki Haverstock. I'm a cozy mystery author with, 15, 16 cozy mysteries up on Amazon. And I'm going to talk about, it's kind of a weird topic, and it's the cross of several different topics, which is Facebook, social media in general, and potentially why you might want to have a pen name. We have all heard, and this should be useful for you even if, I'm hoping this will be useful for you, even if you're already published, you've already committed, about how maybe you could kind of fix this problem. So if you might already know a lot of reasons why people consider pen names. It could be that they have a lot of lawyers, judges, people who work in the public eye who want to keep their real life separate from their book life, people who write maybe erotica or romance, or even I have a friend, in Europe, they don't have a problem with sex at any kind, but they have a problem with violence. So if you were to write horror or thrillers or anything like that in some other countries, you might want to keep that separate from like your kids' teachers. If you're a teacher, there's a lot of reasons. A very popular reason is if somebody's already publishing that has a name like yours, you don't want to confuse your brand with their brand, any of that. Okay, those are all really valid reasons. But another reason that is not discussed a lot, I've discussed it with Zoe York, who has a great channel here on YouTube, and I know she has some thoughts that I think she's going to do in a video as well, but you might want to have a pen name just to simplify your social media. So if you are like me, you've had social media for well over a decade, and you probably have a lot of people on your social media that maybe, old neighbors, your old babysitter, old co-workers. It could be people that have wildly different political views than you do right now. And I'm not saying that you should never have friends who have different political views. But whether or not you want to be exposed to those every time you log on is a different topic. Especially if what happens is many people who publish, they get their personal life and their author life all enmeshed. We know how pages work on Facebook, so having a page, a lot of people go, oh, I have a page, and so it's not a problem. Except all of a sudden, no one can see your page, so you have to post on your profile, or people want to profile you, want to share your profile. Your peer authors might friend you. Almost every class I've taken recently has a continuing education Facebook group. So that is where, you take a class on, like I have Michelle Wolf's Facebook class, Facebook ads class, and I mentioned it on an earlier video, and part of the deal with that is that you can join her group, which means that when new rollouts come, she can update you as to what's happening. That's not uncommon. And so it ends up being that you really can't get away from Facebook. I have a video on here on how I'm dealing with my Facebook addiction, and I just got off of it completely. But then you know what happens? You don't hear about who's pregnant, who had a baby. You don't see your family members, which could be good or bad. And so one of the things to consider if you are moving forward with a pen name is that you might want to be able to log off your personal Facebook page. Maybe you don't want to see your uncle or your cousin or whoever. And maybe, so this is what happened to me today, is I posted something and someone who I barely know hopped onto my post to criticize me. I don't want that out. I don't want that, period. I don't want that, period, especially not from someone that I've met once that I don't know. Anyway, the point is that this is my professional page. This is where I interact with this is my professional, my profile and me and all that is all a mesh. That's just how it is. So using a pen name gives you the freedom, even if it's a variation on your own name, such as if I had created a second name when I started publishing and I'd used that name to friend all my friends, that would have been really helpful. All my author friends. That would have been really useful because then I could have joined all my author groups with that profile. I could have done all that. But now I'm at a point where I am 7 years in. I'm coming 6.5 years in since I started friending people on Facebook. Author people started joining author groups. In general, I would say you want to join your author group under the name that you publish so that when people go, oh, I really like this person, I'll look up their books, etc., etc. So it has become kind of a complicated issue. It was not quite the same when I started. It wasn't really a concern that people brought up a lot. When they brought it up, they mostly made the point of protecting your business, protecting your personal life from your business. And now it has become more about protecting your business from your personal life. You want to get away from your personal life. A lot of people right now, my husband goes, just delete your Facebook. And I'm like, I can't. I'm in every author group, every anthology group, every class group. If I deleted it, I would have no way. A lot of my readers don't follow my newsletter. They want to follow my Facebook page. And so, and sharing on your Facebook page is a requirement. Running ads, you have to have a profile. Running a page, you have to have a profile. So this is getting really complicated, and I'm trying to figure out how to pull back. So here's some concrete, if you are looking forward, you might consider I'm going to make a dedicated just profile for that. And I know there's some kind of legalities. I'll let you go into all that. But if you have already published under your real name like I have, and you are trying to pull back, I'm going to give you a couple tips, which is one, when you unfollow people on Facebook, they are less likely to see your posts as well. What that means is Facebook uses engagement algorithms, which means the more you engage with someone, the more likely you are to see them. So if you unfollow someone, and I've tested this, it doesn't seem to be a perfect ratio. I don't know whether these people are looking me up and following me on purpose. But in general, if you unfollow someone, they stop seeing your stuff as well. So it can be a very passive way, is if you've got a cousin that's always, making jokes that you don't necessarily find funny, that you feel undermine, they're posting, oh, you're still writing those porn books, eh? And you're like, please don't put that on my stuff. But you can't unfriend them, because then your aunt will call all upset, or whatever family dynamics you have, or your neighbor, and you don't want to have this conversation with them. You can just unfollow them. I'm going to be trying something new, which is called the Newsfeed Eradicator. It's an add-on on Chrome, which basically replaces your newsfeed with just a nice quote. You can still go to your groups, you can still see your posts. This might be a good option for you if your main problem is that you see other dumb people on the internet. I get it. Maybe even your best friend posts stuff that, they're constantly saying, oh, did you see this? And you're like, that kind of thing. So that is an option. And I know that different web browsers have different options, and you could probably just Google. If you use Firefox, go Firefox Facebook add-on, and you'll probably find something where you can, I know, not Freedom, there's another one. I'm sorry. Anyway, you can look it up yourself. I'm not kidding. You can post in the comments if you know what they are, and you can block certain words. You can block so you never hear politics. You never hear COVID or Corona. You never hear, I don't know, the name of your local mayor that everyone's fighting about, you don't want to hear about. So you can hide those kind of things. You can hide just by topic. If there's a topic you feel really strongly about and you don't want to hear people. My issue, what I have been doing is locking myself off Facebook for weeks at a time. Unfortunately, it is not possible to do that if you, it is impossible to do that if you want to run ads. So you have to be logged into your account to follow your ads account, which then for me, before I know it, I'm back on Facebook. You can use things like Freedom, which is another application an add-on for your browser, where I can log into that and I can log myself off Facebook, but not the business page, just this. So you can try stuff like that. But I think going forward, I read something that I heard Becca Syme say, who also has a channel here, SYME, here on YouTube, that is excellent, is she talked about you can just have a post on your Facebook that says, find me at Instagram. And your Twitter can post to Instagram, and your TikTok can post to Instagram, or whatever, and then your readers can find you there. What Becca said this weekend at her conference was that something like between 70 and 90%, depending on the statistics, of people who are on one social media are on all of them. Meaning that if they're on Facebook, they're probably also on the Instagram, so maybe they can follow you there. I have not found the perfect solution. I am working on it because I need to figure out how to reclaim my time, but more than my literal time, it's my energy. I had a kind of a frustrating encounter this morning and I lost an hour to being frustrated and walking around the house being frustrated and texting my friends being frustrated. And that is not a healthy interaction. I know a lot of you are much better people than me and you never get frustrated, but I just have had to acknowledge that this is who I am, and that if I let a little bit of negativity into my life, it kind of consumes me. And some people don't. Some people love fighting on the internet and they can stand up from their computer and walk away and they're done with it. But that's just not me. So that is a consideration that is, I don't think, brought up nearly enough, which is how is publishing underneath my real name going to impact my social media and, you know, all of my personal accounts and that, and can I get away if I get frustrated? Am I tying my business to my personal account in a way that I cannot step away? So that's something you need to consider. If you have great suggestions, I'd love to hear them in the comments. If you have some great tool that I didn't mention, please let me know. I will use it, I will review it, I will try it. Otherwise, happy words and have a good week.